my friends, and welcome to this guitar channel about arpeggio. Yeah, arpeggio, the title. I would like to say that it's maybe one of the most important techniques when you are playing nylon string guitar, but yeah, it's a little bit tricky to say what technique is the most important, because it depends what you are playing, but that could I say that the arpeggio is much more important compared to picao, for example. So yeah, and if you are playing a basic Compás and comping stuff, you might not use so much arpeggio, but if you are a little bit more advanced, you might use some licks between chords and stuff where you are using arpeggio. But anyway, it's really common technique, and especially when you are playing classical guitar, it's really common. But yeah, anyway, maybe one of the most important techniques. But the basic technique is still. But yeah, if you are beginning or if you are advanced or however, and you are practicing arpeggio, and you are still struggling with it, and you have problems with the sound, or you have a problem with the control and stuff like that, I would say that you should maybe check what you are actually doing when you're playing arpeggio. And there are some important things what I would like to say. Of course, you have to try to find your own way to play and survive through these things and through the difficulties what you might have. And every time it doesn't matter what's your level, but every time you want to do progress, it means that you have to really take care, or you have to take a really good look what you're actually doing and what you should do differently. So that's the whole point when you're practicing. I have mentioned this a couple of times before also. And you have to be really critical. But when you are starting to play, for example, when you are starting to practice, I mean, for example, and you are starting to warm up, that's maybe one of the best situations or moments where you should maybe check what you are doing. And if we talk about arpeggio a little bit, that you are playing with the 4 fingers or 3 or whatever is the figure what you're playing, you should maybe start with the really basic things with no left hand. You just place your hand here and you start to feel how the guitar feels today, what's the sound of today, what's your control, and etc, etc. So you just start like this. Other way. Something like this. And after that, when you have a little bit tried your guitar today, that what's your feeling and what's your motivation and everything, you know, these basic things, you start to think about what should I do next and what kind of exercises I should maybe do, and what's the sound actually. And this is one really important issue what I would like to say, that it doesn't matter actually what technique you are using, but okay, now we are talking about arpeggio. But when you are going faster and faster, and if you are not a pro level player, what usually happens is that your sound gets worse, and you might be able to play like or the way with this speed, but when you are going faster and faster, happens something like this. So it sounds totally unclear, and I guarantee that you are not feeling controlled, that you can control the situation and the technique. And what you should do is that, I have said this many times, that you need time. If you are able to play slowly and you feel good and relaxed with that, it doesn't mean that you can play it fast, naturally. It takes time. Usually it takes quite a lot of time. But every time you make progress, it means that it will stay. You won't lose it. Of course, if you totally quit playing, then you will lose it in the end. But anyway, that's not what we are going to talk about. So, when you are playing arpeggio, first of all, you should try to find the good sound and the good position with your right hand. And of course, your playing position is really important. And when you are playing, and now I'm talking about the playing flamenco guitar and flamenco arpeggio, which is a little bit, the sound is a little bit different compared to classical, brother, but it's still the philosophy. I would say that it's totally the same behind these exercises and the philosophy. What you should think, that you just first of these things, what you should do, you just check that you place your thumb as a rest stroke every time you play it. It stays there. And if I now take this figure, so it's P, I, middle, and ring finger. So thumb, index, middle, and ring finger. You play the rest stroke, and then you leave it there, and then you play index, and then middle, and ring finger. And remember, when you are playing, maybe I should turn a little bit. You are not playing like this. You are not pulling out the strings of the guitar like this. This is really a common mistake. It's like a, what is this called? Sewing machine or something. Like this. That's not playing. It's like wrapping the strings like this. Of course, there are situations where you want to produce this sound, but it's not the basic sound, of course. So when you are placing your thumb as a rest stroke like this, and then you pull your index finger, it's like a little hook which goes there. It forms in the end. It's like a light fist what you form. So it's like this, and you are actually pulling the strings like this direction more or less. Okay, is it a 45-degree angle or something like that? But yeah, that's where how you produce the sound. And when you place your fingers like this, you can place every finger there already when you are practicing this slowly. And then you start to play the thumb, and then you play the index, and these all other fingers will leave there. They will stay there, I mean, like this. And now you have kind of fist here, and your thumb is still placed there, and then you move it back and like this, and you open your other fingers like this. Naturally, you can't play this fast, you have to do it slowly, but the point is that you try to produce good sound, and you try to feel controlled, and you try to do everything correctly in a slow tempo. And first of all, you don't have to take care of the tempo, that you can play with the metronome in the beginning when you are doing these kind of exercises. You just try to follow the specific order what your fingers should do. So it doesn't matter if it takes many seconds between the fingers. You just try to keep it controlled and repeat those movements. Like first thumb you concentrate, yes, rest stroke, and then index, yeah, and then middle, yeah, and then the ring finger, like this. And when you feel more relaxed and controlled, and you might already know the figure what you should play, then you can start to use the metronome, for example, that you can, or a little bit slower even. And like this. And then when you are feeling okay with right hand, you can start to use some chords, so that it sounds a little bit more interesting maybe. And by the way, I linked one arpeggio exercise down there in the description box, what I have done, and there's a video of mine where you can see the chords and one figure, but that's not the only one, it's just one from thousands of different exercises. So, but please feel free to check it out too. But yeah, and now when you are feeling control and when you remember this, every time you are practicing, you should keep on doing these kind of things, that you don't just like, and when you are speeding up, you don't change anything. You should feel all the time control, that it's when you are doing this, like this. And when you speed it up a little bit, it doesn't change like this. You keep it controlled, and if you can't control it, then you go back a little bit and take it slower. Easy as that. And you keep on repeating it, and you can change the figure like, and then there's of course this. But the philosophy is the same. And and one important thing I already can guess that you will ask about it, that when you are playing the 4th string and you should play the 3rd string, how about the rest stroke? Like this. And now you play the rest stroke, but you take it away just before you play the index. So like this. And when you have been repeating these things, or with the chords, and you make progress a little bit, you can try to switch the rhythmic things like or you keep on doing this. You change the rhythm a little bit. This. And also when you are playing this, what is this, 2 triplets, so some people call it double arpeggio, but it's not actually a really double arpeggio, but I understand where it comes, of course, but it's like 2 triplets, or I don't know the term in English actually what it is, but anyway it has a specific term when you play in this where in Solea, for example. This stuff. But yeah, you can play it like this. You combine first slowly and fast. Slowly and fast. Or you switch the bass. Like this. So, yeah. And there are more exercises with the accents and stuff like that, what I like to use. Those are really, really effective. It's what it means is that when you are playing what could I invent? For example, you're playing it like this. You start to accent one finger. It can be, I would say that you shouldn't accent thumb because it's already quite strong finger. But if you start to accent index or middle or even ring finger, that would be really effective. And you should try each of them. Here as an example, I will show you, for example, if you accent middle finger, it means that you should play softly and those other notes should be a little bit quieter, and this accented note should be a lot louder that you can hear it. So da 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 da. And now I'm accenting the index finger. Sorry, middle finger. every time I play middle, I will play it with an accent. Like that. And the index. And then there's this yeah, this kind of stuff. This is actually, this accented exercise is really effective. If you play it like 10 minutes or 15 minutes or how long ever, 1 hour is of course too long, but anyway, if you play it a little bit, I would guarantee that you will notice the difference quite quickly. Usually it even feels, after you have done it first time when you have started that, it usually after 15 minutes already you can feel the difference. Of course it won't stay after one exercise, but if you keep on doing that during the weeks, you will notice the difference quite soon. And I have used it a lot, even with the picao and also with rajeos, and I figure out it's really, really effective. I don't remember where I got it, the idea, but it doesn't matter. I use it and it's effective, so what the heck. Yeah, and what else could I say about arpeggio? Yeah, maybe this same old story that when you are playing and doing these exercises, don't even imagine that you will make a great difference after 1 week. It's if you really practice properly, maybe if you haven't seen, maybe you should check my previous guitar channel video about practicing. I will do those more actually, but that's the beginning of about that title, that topic. And yeah, just keep on doing this and don't try to wait the results too much. Just try to love your process, that when you are doing these things, because it's actually the only way to reach the some level and make progress. Because especially nowadays when people are so how you say, distracted by many things, and they just want to see quickly results. And even I can only imagine that these videos I'm doing, for example, are for some people they are not interesting because these are too long. But if you if you want to know something, really, I mean really know something, and your video is like 10 seconds or 1 minute, it's just impossible to cover everything, or even a minor part of the one thing what you want to learn. It's like looking the grass. There's nothing in it. You can see some details here and there, but you know what I mean. Yeah, but yeah, this is I would say that these things I already mentioned to you are maybe, in my opinion, these are one of the maybe the most important things when you are playing arpeggio. But if I summarize the conclusion, it's like you should remember that you have to use good technique, which I already mentioned, that you use a rest stroke and you feel controlled, and you use enough slow tempo that you manage to do that. You are not trying to play fast like a sewing machine. You are playing well, and then you should use these accented exercises and some chords and stuff like that, and you keep on repeating things after months and months, and you will make progress, huge progress, I would say. And that's the trickiest part, as I mentioned before. These things, what you should do, or what we should do, these are quite obvious. These are not difficult. This is actually quite easy to understand, quite easy to do. The trickiest part is who really can do it. And I mean, who has this patience to keep on repeating this after days and days and days, and after weeks and months and years. That's the trickiest part. Some people maybe play a couple of days and they get bored and no, I'm not doing any progress. Okay, done. But yeah, you know, repeat these things do them and do them, and you will manage. You will succeed in the end, of course. Do I have anything else about this arpeggio at the moment? What could I mention? Yeah, maybe. Oops. Maybe some words about the sound. That if you can grow a little bit your nail or nails, it will help, of course. But when you are playing and slowly and you are starting to do this, remember that try to listen right away what you are doing and the sound, that it's not, or like something like this. It's, you are not using a lot of strength, but you are, the movement when you are picking the string, it's like a, how to describe it, it's fast enough, would say, and you have a good control when you have placed your finger here, and then you just grab it and you try to produce a good sound. So once again, it's not something like this. It's all controlled. But yeah, I guess I mentioned everything I wanted. There are a lot of things to say, of course, but these are the more or less the basic things what I would say are important about arpeggio. I still keep on doing these things. And yeah, if you have questions, comments, you know the thing, please write them down there in the comment section, and please subscribe and give me a thumbs up. If you like this video, it helps with the algorithm. And yeah, see you in the next video. Keep on practicing and do it well.